All right. Thank you. Thank you, Dada. And first of all, thank you, Sharath. It's an honor, first of all, to have you here, and more importantly, consider you a very good friend since I first met you like 7, 8 years ago. With that, do you want to just start with a quick video that we have? Dan, do you mind just playing that video?
It is all over this time. Amazing Ashanta. 16 years after he won this gold medal, the men's singles, he goes and does it again. He denies the home hopes. He denies Liam Pitchford.
Hailed as the face of table tennis in India, Achanta Sharath Kamal was born in Chennai, Tamil Nadu in 1982. Sharath took the pivotal decision to single-mindedly pursue a career in table tennis instead of continuing with his studies in science and engineering. 5 years later, in 2002, Sharath played in his first national championship finals. Only a year later, he won the title, and then there was no looking back. In 2004, he represented India at the Athens Olympics, the first of his 4 Olympic Games. In 2006, he became the first ever Indian table tennis player to win 2 gold medals at the Commonwealth Games. In 2005, the Government of India conferred on Sharath the Arjuna Award for outstanding performance in sports and games. Over his glittering career, Sharath has won over 60 international medals, including 13 Commonwealth Games medals and 2 Asian Games medals. Sharath is one of the most decorated Indian athletes in the history of the Commonwealth Games. He has also won the national championships a staggering 10 times, more than anyone else in the history of the sport. He is the vice chairman of the Athletes Commission of the Indian Olympics Association and co-chair of the International Table Tennis Federation for the Athletes Commission. He was awarded the Padma Shri by the Indian government in 2019. More recently, Sharath won 4 medals for India at the 2022 Birmingham Commonwealth Games, including 3 golds and 1 silver. He scaled this unprecedented peak at the age of 40, when most of the compatriots he had started his career with had long hung up their boots. Last year, the government awarded Sharath the Dhyan Chand Khel Ratna, India's highest sporting honour. Sharath has been a true leader, a flag bearer of Indian table tennis over the last 2 decades. During his career, India has evolved into a force to reckon with on the global table tennis stage, breaking into the ranking of the top 10 nations for the first time ever in 2019. Despite his stellar achievements, Sharath remains a humble person and a dedicated family man. Please give a big round of welcome to the GOAT of Indian table tennis, Padma Shri, Arjuna and Khel Ratna awardee Sharath Kamal.
Right. Sharath, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
All right. Can everyone hear Sharath as well?
All of them are on mute.
Yeah. That is true. So, but I think I can hear you well, so I presume everybody else can. First of all, Sharath, thank you for joining.
Yeah.
And why don't we get started with a quick fun fact of yours and just address the crowd for a couple of minutes, and then we'll get started with some questions. For the audience, please ask the questions in Q&A, and we'll pick it up as they come as well.
Yeah. So firstly, thank you, Deloitte, for having me over, and for a lot of, I think there are a lot of audience here who might not know what a Padma Shri is, what an Arjuna Award is, or what a Dhyan Chand Award is. People in Mexico and people who are Americans, Indians also not many would know, but these are the sporting, like Arjuna Award is given for the best sports person in table tennis in a specific field, and Dhyan Chand award is the best sports person across all sports. So I won that those two awards with a span with a difference of almost 17 years. 18 years. So really happy to be here. And it's also a pleasure sharing my experiences with all of you.
Thank you, Sharath. Why don't we get started with the highlight first, right? So at the age of 40, you won 4 medals, 3 golds, and 1 silver at Commonwealth Games in 2022. Obviously, that was probably one of the best performances in your career. Talk to us through what went into your preparation for that. How did you manage to peak at the right time there? And what were some of the lessons that you can also translate as we speak to the corporate world from that?
Yeah. So I work with the team, even though table tennis is an individual sport, and I play, of course, I play singles, I play teams, and I play the doubles. But a lot depends on my training, my fitness, my mental conditioning, and a lot of things which work around me. But the most important element that I had, around me was my team of support staff who've been working very, very hard along with me. So my team, my support staff consists of my table tennis coach, who is my younger brother. It was my father and uncle for a long period. They've given up on me because I'm not retiring. So they said, we can't be traveling along with you anymore. So they've passed on the baton to my younger brother, who also played for India for a while, and now he's into coaching. So he takes care of my table tennis part. Then I have my fitness coach, I have a physio, I have a mental coach, and a nutritionist. So there's a clear plan onto what has to be done when. So we break the year into, okay, this phase is very, very important. This phase is, we'll have to load, but at the same time, we'll have to check on a few tournaments which are important. And this phase is no problem. We can load as much as possible, and we don't care about the results in that phase. So there's a clear demarcation of what I will be working out in the gym, what I'll be training in the table tennis court, what kind of food that I will have at that point in time, because the nutritionists will have to make sure that I go high on carbs or high on protein, or for specific training drills, what is the kind of food that I need so that I can recover better and take care of this whole component. And this basically in sport is called periodization. It's called the process of peaking. You need to peak at the right time. So you have smaller peaks and you have bigger peaks. So it's the same thing like you had the presentation before that. So Y to D, yeah. Till date it's this, and then from here, where do I see myself? What do I do? What should I do to get there into that specific region? So a lot has been learned through experience, because I need to know my own body. I need to know my mind. So peaking, let's say periodization, means, let's say even when Neeraj Chopra is able to throw the javelin to win an Olympic gold, it means that not just physically I'm at the best shape, but also mentally I'm in my best shape. I'm as sharp as possible on the court, on the field, and all of this has to come together. And this is what the process takes you through. So my preparation starts off for the Commonwealth Games. I started like after the Olympic Games. Olympic Games was in 2021, August. I started my prep for Commonwealth Games by November 2021. And it nearly took 9 months from there to get to that. So it's a complete team that works together. That is how every office works, every organization works. Of course, there is one winner. I'm the face of it. But without my team, without the support from them, I can't get this far.
Thank you. Thank you, Sharath. And to all of us as well, the importance is, while these results show right now, it's a result of what we have done a long time ago in terms of what you guys have done to help us where we are a long time ago, right? So what we are doing now will really help us into the later half of this fiscal year and the next as well. So that's very important too. So coming back to you, Sharath, You're the face of table tennis in India, and you've been for a while, which automatically comes with tremendous responsibilities as a leader. So talk to us about how do you promote teamwork in a fairly what people consider an individual sport, and how do you inspire each professional to give it their best performance and continue to grow as a sports person as well?
So basically, I've been playing this playing top level table tennis. Like I've been in the national team for almost 20 years, 22 years now. So I've been with 4 generations of players. So every generation that came by, after my generation, of course, when I came into the national team, we were of the same generation, but I was looking up to a couple of players back then because they were already in the national team. As juniors, they were doing well. But once that generation passed out, for the next generations onwards, I was kind of the guiding pathway, yeah, because I went into Europe. I started showing that we can beat the best players in the world. We can beat the Chinese. We can beat the Japanese. We can beat the Europeans. And once I started doing that, a lot of the youngsters also started believing. So many times, what I've seen is a lot of people have told me that a lot of my seniors have told me that we can do it. But when I did it by action, the younger generation could actually start believing if Sharath can do it, I can do it also. So they started, following my way, and I started helping them out into getting into Europe, finding good places for practice, and building up a whole team. Because end of it, even though I'm playing an individual sport, end of it, it doesn't matter so much if I'm the only one who's doing well. If all of us are collectively doing well, the sport is going to go ahead. So that was something which I grew up with. That was a kind of a attitude that I always grew up with, that a team, one for all and all for one. That is how we go ahead. So and after that, let's say by 2011, 2012, the next generation players came in, and I started helping them, grooming them. And the hindsight, when I look at it, when I was able to help them and get them there, they were actually pushing me further ahead, to push myself beyond my own benchmarks also, because they were getting close to beat me. So the internal competition was quite healthy, was quite good. So when the internal competition, that made me actually raise my level also. So it helped me a lot, getting these guys together, and in turn it helped the Indian table tennis also. So simple things like, when I play doubles with Srija Kula, who at the Commonwealth Games, she was my doubles partner when we won the gold. She was 24 years of age, and when I won the 2006 Commonwealth Games, she was probably, in a kindergarten or school, where she was watching me play, and she was going, she was just awestruck. And imagine her taking that place of being my partner and supporting me in going into the tournament. It was very tough for her, but I made sure that she is feeling very comfortable in the whole process. And I kept telling her that it's a doubles game and I can't do it alone. She needs to help me. I need to help her. And together we will be able to work together as a team. And it really took a lot of practice sessions for her to get out of her mental that attitude that, okay, Sharath will take care of everything. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't in any team, in any organization. One person can't do everything. So everybody needs to, put in their effort. So then the leader, as a leader, I could lead the whole team, but without their efforts, it would be very tough.
Excellent point. Thanks, Sharath. A lot in it for us to learn as well. So I'll ask one more question, and then we have questions coming in from the people here. So the one piece is I have to talk, at least for people that are close to table tennis here. You played the greatest table tennis player of all time, Olympic gold medalist Malong in the Tokyo Olympics recently. To our pleasant surprise, you went toe-to-toe for most of the match and just 1 point short of going up 2-1 overall, which nobody expected. Again, talk to us about your mental state, your preparation for this particular match, and how you managed to play so well when none of us were really expecting. And this is in a peak tournament, right? It's not just some other tournament as well. It's Olympics.
True. That was by far, in terms of the quality that I've played table tennis, quality table tennis, that's by far the best table tennis that I've played. It was even better than what I did at the Commonwealth Games in 2012. That is also because the opponent is so big. He was the reigning Olympic champion. He also went on to become the Olympic champion in 2021. So he is the best player table tennis has ever seen. And I've been playing against him for almost, like, I think the first time when I played against him was in 2006 at the Asian Games in Qatar. And since then, I've never even won a set against him. So not even one set I would say won against him. So when I started playing him, when I knew the draw, basically when I knew the draw was I was about to play him. Even before I was playing Malong, I was playing a guy from Portugal with whom also I would always lose. I've in the recent 8 times I've lost to him all the matches. So I was talking to the mental coach, and the mental coach and I was discussing, and we both were on the same line, saying that yes, okay, of course we've lost until now, we've lost the matches to this player until now, but just because we've lost before doesn't mean that he's going to give me a handicap to start with. We are still going to start the match 0-0. And he needs to win those 11 points to get there. So that was the same mentality I had with Malong also. So when I went into the match, I said, like, okay, the match starts with 0-0. Let him outplay me the 11 points and take it away. But I'm not going to make it any easier for him. I need to make sure that he is going to earn those 11 points. And that is also the way how we've been training. So just because I've won a player 3-4 times before doesn't mean that, of course, mentally we have that upper hand. But again, on that particular day, you start off the match at 0-0. It doesn't change anything. And you need to win those 11 points. So that is the kind of mentality I went into. And once I started feeling, I was getting there, I was having it there. He took a very strategic timeout, shifted gears. He made me slower. He shifted gears, and then he took over on the 3rd set. And then after that, it was pretty hard for me to catch up. But once I came out of that match, I finished the match. I came out of the match. My coach, he patted me on my back and he said, "Fantastic match, man. I haven't seen you play like this." I put the towel on my head and I was looking down and I said, "It's always the same story. I play so well. I get there, but I don't win." I was feeling so bad. But he was like very surprised. The coach was very surprised. Saying, "How, man, you played the best match of your life, How can you even put yourself so low here? You need to push yourself up." But still I was feeling quite disappointed. But then until the time I came back to the room and I opened my phone and saw the WhatsApp messages, only then I knew what kind of an effect I had on the whole country as such who are watching the matches. So they felt very, very proud, and they felt like, okay, if Sharath is able to do this, why not any other player from India? That's the kind of belief that I could install in the contingent, in the country. And at the same time, all of them were so proud of what I had done. So they were more proud than I was, actually, because I was still very much in the box. Yeah, they saw it from a bird's eye view, so they knew what exactly happened.
No, I remember calling you a day or two later and then talking through this as well. That was unbelievable. I've never seen you play backhand that much in my life. But anyway, so we do have some questions from the audience. I'll just open this out. Afzal, if you can get started with your question first, please.
Hi, thanks, Vinay. And Sharath, thank you. It's just been so inspiring listening to you. Belief you talked about the importance of belief, and it's so important in what we all do, right? You're pursuing a passion or your work. I was, discipline is another important thing, I would imagine, right? Can you speak about the discipline in your life? Maybe a typical day, what does that look like? Discipline, how you live, how you eat, what you do. Yeah. If you speak to that, that would be very appreciative.
When you play sport, when you do sport, there are certain attributes in life which comes very naturally. One is discipline. because you need to be on time for the training sessions. You need to make sure you're well prepared. You need to have your bag packed. It's not like, every day getting into school or you're getting into office and then trying to figure out what you're going to do there. So discipline, commitment, dedication, these are few attributes which generally by and large come if you're playing sport. So that's why I keep telling everybody that sport is very healthy for both body and mind. Top level sport is injurious to body and mind because you face so many failures, you get through so many injuries. That gets very tough. But discipline is something which just is groomed into you as a very young boy or a very young human being getting into sport. So as you rightly said, there's a lot of people talk about Virat Kohli's diet or LeBron James. LeBron James really he spends around $1 million on recovery, just on recovery. He makes, because he knows that his body is everything. Especially he's 38 years old. He's playing the NBA for so many years. And he understands that only when he's physically as brutal as he is, can he even sustain the younger generations. So we have to make sure that we are eating right, we are sleeping right, we are training ourselves well. And especially as you get older, physically, you're becoming weaker. So we need to, like, for me, the younger, I play against kids who are half my age, they're 20 years old. Their reflexes are so fast. The hand-eye coordination is so fast. So I need to be first to compete against them. I need to be on a level playing ground. And then my experience comes into play. So for all of that, a lot of discipline is very, very important.
Thank you, Sharath. That's on a lighter note, Sharath. I know there's other questions as well. Can you tell us about your role model? Who has been your
model?
Yeah.
I grew up. Okay, there was Gopi Chand from India on badminton. I grew up watching him win the titles, and I got some chances to meet him, talk to him. And internationally, it was Roger Federer. At the Athens Olympic Games, I saw him, and I was like, "Oh, I just need to go sit as close as to him." I can actually say that I dined with Roger Federer because he was a few chairs away from me.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Afzal. Bud, do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. Great. Thank you, as everyone is saying. Thank you so much for being with us today. Quick question. I mean, like so many athletes, entertainers who have success at a very young age, I think struggle with that success. How have you been able to kind of stay grounded through all the success that you've had?
For the fact that I haven't had success at a very young age. Maybe that's the reason why I'm so grounded. I've been playing the sport for I started when I was 4 years old, and I first played for the national team when I was 20 years old. So it took me almost 16 years to get there, and especially from the age when I said, okay, I want to turn professional, which was around 15, 16 years of age, until I was 20 years old. The struggle was just humongous. It was just not hard on myself. It was hard on my mom, my dad, people all around me, because I was working as hard as I could. I was doing well in the training sessions. I go to the match and I lack the belief. I lack the courage, or I was too intimidated by the opponents. It took me a long time. But as you rightly saying, because handling success and failure is quite tough, especially at a very young age. As you get older, you can actually detach yourself from the success and failure, because end of it, you work so hard, and the process doesn't change the person who you are just because you had success or you have failure. For me, it's the same. When I lost, I would say I need to work a little bit more. And when I started winning, I said I need to continue working a little bit more, because until now I was trying to be the number one. Now there are 100 people who are trying to get to my place. So I need to be better than all the rest of the 100. So success and failure is, as a lot of people keep saying this, it's the journey which is important, destiny and stuff. But for me, the most important thing is how you basically take success and failure in the same stride and continue to work ahead.
No, thank you. And by the way, some of us that are kind of at the longer side of the career, 20 is pretty young. Okay, just so.
Yeah, but the thing in table tennis is
In
it's
sport,
yeah,
20 is already, yeah.
Yeah.
especially in table tennis, I would say. Yes.
Yeah.
Again, thanks, Baj. I think we have a couple more questions, Sharath, if you're okay with it. We
Yeah,
have
yeah.
Lakuma. Lakuma, do you want to go next?
Absolutely. Thanks, Vinay. Hi, thank you for being here. I have two questions, but the first one's a serious one. So what is it that kept you going, right? When two parts, right? When not everything is going in your favor, or when, you know, things just come against you. So what is it that kept you going?
And remember that nominations must show.
Yeah. The most important fact, times didn't go, you know, when things don't work according to how you want. I think it's most important the people around you. My people surrounding me always kept telling me that I will make it. You know, I'm there, I will make it, and we are all there to support you. So when you have something to fall back on, it's a lot easier than when you have to go completely against the tide. Yeah. I guess you know the Indian tradition, yeah. So I was 15 years old when I had to decide. I was in my 10th grade, 11th standard. I had to choose if I go into education, basically science and engineering, and science,
and
engineering,
nothing else.
science, engineering, and US. So it's that is the pattern, yeah. That's the pattern, especially south of India. So my cousins have all done that. My classmates have all done that. It's easier for me to have a reunion in the US with my school friends than in. So that was the way. But I said, you know, and everything was placed right in front of me. I had my engineering seat. I had everything there. I just had to say, okay, I would take up education. But I went all against that. And I said, I want to play sport because I like playing the sport. I like going to the hall. I like competing. I like practicing. I like training. So till date, my wife still complains that she is my second love because I love the game so much. Yeah. So the passion for the sport is something which kept me driving through the whole process for whole time. And of course, we do have, there are more times, of course, when you look at me, you know, okay, let's take 2022 when I won that Commonwealth gold and I went on to become the best sports person in the country. But in that year, I would have lost triple the number of matches than the number of matches I would have won. But I just did it in the most important ones. So that is where we need to look at, because many times we try to take the negatives out of the process. Yeah, when things are not running good, we start to think about the negatives. But the thing is, we would have done 4 good things, we would have done 2 bad things. The focus will be on the bad things.
On the bad things, correct.
On the bad things. That's because that's how the human mentality is, human nature works. Oh, those 2 are not good. But man, you did 4 good things. Don't forget that. Take the confidence from that. So that I learned a lot from my uncle. He always kept pushing me to stay positive, to look at the positive things. It's okay if things are bad. It's no problem, because when the curve is going down, you know, when the graph is going down, it's no problem because it can't get worse. You can only go up. You have to be
goes up.
more worried. You have to be more worried when the graph is going up, because it's going to go down somewhere. You're going to make sure you stay longer there.
No, absolutely agree. And I'm from Hyderabad, based out of India. So I completely agree on the reunion being easier in the US rush. And on a lighter note, spouses always complain. So I call my husband's first love as the computer, the second love being me. So no matter what you do, you'll always be the second love. But on the lighter side, I know Afzal's my role model. I wish I could have asked you much more stylishly, but I can't beat Afzal's stylish nature. But are you here? This is a lighter question for Deloitte and us, or just because Vinay influenced you to be here and you're here for Vinay?
Actually, he's paying me a good sum, so it was. Vinay just said, "Are you available?
That was a
Are
good
you
one.
available on Monday?" I said, "Yeah, I'm available," and then it just went on. But I didn't know that it's a very nice
Awesome.
forum.
No,
It's really nice to be here.
thank you for being here, and thank you, Vinay, for bringing in Sharath.
Thanks, Lakuma. One last question, Sharath. Lijo, are you on?
Yeah, I'm on. Thank you, Vinay. Hey, Sharath, great to meet you here, and we are so proud of your accomplishment. I know, like Arjuna Award, like in Padma Shri had, not small feats in India, and it's great to see like how grounded and humble you are with this accomplishment and the positivity you are bringing to the messages. The table tennis is relatively a less known sport in India, right? Again, comparing to cricket, hockey, etc. I know you are part of some of the governing bodies with the Indian sports. What are we doing, at the national level to bring this game to more young people and at young ages?
Yeah. So I would disagree on one point what you said. Of course, table tennis is a very it's not so popular, but there's only one sport which is popular in India. Hockey is also not so popular. There's just cricket. Cricket is it takes it all. It's like football in Europe, or your NFL there in the US. So the other sports are slowly doing better. We are getting better. The government is taking a lot of initiatives into making India not a completely sporting country as such, because it's still a long process. It's a long way, because we are very, very academically oriented country. There's a lot of jobs. Everything is around academics. So sporting industry is something which is new, and since the last 10 years, I would say, since India has been starting to win medals at the Olympic Games, and this has been happening from 2008. Before that, there used to be one-off medal here and there, but since 2008, we've been winning medals consistently in different sports and here and there. And last time, 2021 was the biggest that we ever had, and we're looking forward, better. So the government is doing a lot of positive things in the country. Of course, see, how the system structure works, but there are a lot of schemes for the grassroots level, for the elite sports. Like for myself, I am in a scheme in which they are able to financially support me, and at the same time with some resources also. Let's say I want to go, like now, they're already asking me now for Paris Olympic Games, where would you like to train? What would you like which specific city would you like to go? In that specific city, what are the resources that you need? If you need an apartment, if you need, Indian food, if you need anything of that sort, they are able to help me there. This is for the elite. It's called Target Olympic Podium Scheme. And then for the grassroots level, they have this Khelo India games, where a lot of these young kids come into sport, they're given an opportunity to play. And from this, they're able to, basically the funnel structure. So the government is doing their part. And there are a lot of private organizations who are able to fund sports, like the Olympic Gold Quest or the Go Sports Foundation, or I am with Lakshya Foundation. What I sincerely feel is when the corporates are able to get in to support the sporting structure, because corporates bring about accountability. With the government, there's not much of accountability that can happen. So when a corporate comes in, let's say now Infosys is taking care of a few sports, and this was also PM Modi's, Prime Minister Modi's vision, that one corporate, one sport. So you get into the detail of that sport to help nurture that sport grow from the grassroots level, not just at the top level. So there, I think if you're able to build an ecosystem where the sporting industry grows in, and we are able to have good personnel, good coaches, good physios, strength and conditioning, which is like a mature, US market, or the European market, or the Far East, Asians in terms of China, Japan, Korea. There, it's a complete ecosystem which runs for the players from a grassroots level. That is where I think India is also striving to And again, my call here will be for corporates like you guys to come in and support us. We will be able to do bigger laurels for the country.
Well, thank you, Sharath. I think you actually put the action on Vinay. So
Good luck. If they depend on me taking action, God bless them. But thanks, Lijo. Again, Sharath, I know you've stayed on much longer than what we requested you to. First of all, thank you very, very much for being here. And I've been receiving great feedback on the side as well on this. Appreciate you spending a very good amount of time and educating us. We'll certainly try and learn from you, and look forward to being in touch as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Vinay. Thank you, Garima. Thanks all of you for being here. And I had a nice time with all of you, and hope to see you next time when I'm in the US.